It very much was an apprenticeship, a journeyman's type of education in the real world applications as opposed to just the academic. And so I walked into a lot of those classes with the experience and the understanding behind a lot of the topics that were just being written up on a whiteboard and looking at somebody's back as they're writing all the formulas. I could draw from that experience and apply it directly to the subject across almost every class. That's a great question. For the state of Idaho, in order for a person to be in the public forum and be titled as an engineer, there are, I think it's Idaho Code Title 54 is actually law that states that in order to be an engineer, you must have a 4-year degree and you must have passed the professional engineer's licensing exam. And there are certain requirements that go with that, but first and foremost is a bachelor's of science in engineering.
Okay, perfect.
My other, my colleagues at Boise State, they would, I think, largely agree that it didn't prepare them necessarily. That's one of the reasons why I'm teaching a class right now at Boise State, is that there's a focus at the university towards preparing students for real jobs. We're looking at doing an emphasis. It'll actually be part of the bachelor's degree for mechanical engineering, would be an emphasis on HVAC systems. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning is what HVAC stands for. Because there is an industry need in engineering firms for that real life practical application side of things, that traditional universities focus only on the academics. And so there's a recognition within the academic world at the university level that they're not necessarily doing the best job in preparing freshly minted engineers to enter the workforce. So in preparation for becoming an engineer, my strongest recommendation is to get some actual exposure, whether it be via an internship or the military, because they're really largely the same thing. Go work in the field. If you're going to be an electrical engineer, go be a journeyman or work in an electrical shop for a summer or two. If you're going to be a mechanical engineer, go work at Big O Tires for a summer. Learn dare I say, the nuts and bolts of what it is that you will be designing, because you will gain invaluable knowledge as to how things actually work, and you will also interact. I highly recommend, when you do become an engineer, get a very close relationship with the people who will be doing the work. They will help. The trades out in the field can be your greatest asset to avoiding catastrophe. So if you have a working knowledge, first of all, you have a built-in respect factor from those people. You can't just be dictating from the ivory tower. You can, but you'll fail. And you'll fail spectacularly. So I highly encourage, become knowledgeable about how things actually work. Don't work on programs, computer programs, because wherever you work, they will teach you the programs that they want you to use. But if you know how a compressor works, compressors work the same. If you know how an auto transfer switch works, they largely are the same. But having that background and knowledge from real life experience, be it military or internship or actually getting a job in a shop, that will make you much more attractive initially, and long term set you up for a better path to success. The word sardonic is one that I feel is descriptive of me. It's cynical with a biting edge of humor. If you read any Dilbert, okay, there's a reason why Dilbert is so popular with engineers. It's because there's so much truth to it. So the perception is that we're not very sociable. We're very rigid, when in fact I think that a good engineer has to be collaborative, so they have to be sociable. They have to know how to relate to other people, and not just technical people. You could have the greatest idea in the world, but if you can't communicate it effectively to your audience, it's worthless. Most engineers that I work with, they have to be creative. They have to find unique solutions to problems outside of the confinements that might have been incorrectly imposed on them. Say, you know what, maybe we do this a completely different way, and then be able to sell. There's a degree of sales in engineering. Present the worst idea, the one you don't want to do first, get everybody to go, "Ah." Then present one that they're not going to like, but they like it better than this option. So perceptions of engineers, I think, might have held true in previous generations, but that's changing. Yes. Every day is different. Now, and as a mechanical engineer in a facilities department, it's a little bit different because, and especially at Micron, it is definitely a unique animal. Snaggletooth unicorn, whatever you want to call it. Because every day is different. I enjoy the challenge of somebody telling me, well, we don't know how this is going to be done. Or we can't do it that way. We have no idea what to do next. What I like the fast pace. I like the seemingly impossible deadlines, and just the variety. Day to day, I'll have a wide variety of a mix that goes across the whole spectrum of, we've got this work order for a dripping pipe that a valve is leaking by, to, well, we need a budget estimate for a new supercritical high pressure gas system that we want to roll out to all of our sites. And those will happen within 5 minutes of each other. Wow, that's a really good question. I think it might be just trying to figure out which area or which area to go into. Engineering is becoming more and more specialized, because really engineering is largely, there's a foundational language. I can't speak very good electrical, but I can speak pretty fluent chemical. I'm really fluent. I'm fairly fluent in the instrumentation and controls world. Nuclear, no, it's gibberish. But I don't need to speak nuclear. But I think that might be one of the biggest challenges, is not becoming so locked into just one area. And I think most engineers will tell you that if they do feel locked into just one area, then they're not going to advance very far. Well, you know the difference between a geek and a nerd?
What?
A nerd gets paid.